Progroup Racing, it is, show us your tips. Not Caulfield at all, Randwick Guineas Day in the wet here, and Australian Guineas down in Melbourne at Flemington. Beaver and Daggy with you as we are twice a week to look forward to all things racing on the weekend. Beaver, not much to talk about off the last couple of days, so we might just look straight forward.
Yes, not much to talk about from Wednesday. Just a sole Sandown meeting. So I think there's much better stuff to talk about with this weekend's racing.
Yes, I've heard today they're optimistic of racing in Sydney, so we'll see what happens. They do seem to try a lot harder to get the Ranwick meetings on than any other meetings. Group 1 meetings. But they skipped a lot of the rain there today. But I thought we'll start with Flemington anyway for those tuning in, just to be safe and kick off where there's some rain on the way down there apparently. But the rail is in a 2 metre mark and it is currently a good 4. And I vision that's how it's going to be throughout the day. Now we get Flemington. I don't think there's anything we need to worry about too much. And we kick off in the first with a 1,000 metre listed race for the 2-year-olds. Beaver, do you want to open the batting here?
Yeah, look, tricky affair, these 2-year-old races. A lot of unraced horses here that have trialled and had their jump outs, and some look quite decent. I've gone for the raced one in Mumbai Jewel, coming down from Sydney. Last start win was pretty good. I think the straight track won't be a problem, and with that race experience, I think it can finish over the top of these. Like it did last start. So I've gone Mumbai Jewel, got a bit of a watch on Crystalis. It was pretty good in the trial that it had. So, but yeah, going the race to run here.
I agree with you. I'm with Mumbai Jewel. I guess it's coming down here to try and avoid the wet, but I thought it was a pretty good win last time. It's in an okay field, and just chimed in nicely, ran away from them. Slower pace up the straight as they tend to be might suit, and Notirat having its 4th start, I think experience helps out here. So happy to be with it for all the reasons you've also added. Superset was a nice enough debut in not flash time, but Ben Mellum's winning on everything he throws a leg over at the moment. And I'm going to leave that joke alone. And Cannon was okay. A couple of trials for the Hawks team and comes down here too. So, but I'm happy to be with Mumbai Jewel in the first. Race 2 is the listed Roy Higgins quality over the 2,600 metres. This is a very average race here, and the favourite to me feels a little bit, I don't know, I just have in my head that it's not a 2,600 metre horse, and I just felt a bit icky about it all. It may well be here to win because it did take a while to wind up last time, but I just got it in my head that it's a 2,000 metre horse. So I would much rather back Good Idea at $5 a place than the favourite. And even a horse like Future Score can give you a side here if you're looking away from the favourite. That said, this is a midweek race almost. So other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if Crystal Pegasus just their jiggy jog and it wins by 3 lengths, but just feels a bit dirty to me. What are you thinking?
I was thinking they probably along the lines of you. It does feel a little bit dirty to me at $1.75, stepping up from 2,000 to 2,600. So it's got to run the distance here. I've gone for Tiger. Its form. It had 7 weeks off before its last start, 7th, over the undersuitable trip. It gets back out for 2,600 here to the suitable distance. Prior to that, it was flying. And I don't see why it can't run well here again. Certainly goes well at Flemington, handles all types of conditions, and look, I think this is a real winnable race for it. So I'm going to go Tiger around the $5 mark. I think that presents good value.
Now you can look at that last race if you like Tiger, and I did give it some thought. It's now getting Damien Olivet's dropping 7 kilos. And back up to, so if you just treat that 2,000 metre run in between the 2,600 win as a trial or a tick over,
I think it was.
It sets up really nicely here. So definitely in the game, and I think you've summed it up well. So lots of ticks for Tiger. And like I said, I think my primary play will be Good Idea. Also, the place maybe 3x1, but I'd have a bad love affair with it. I do need it to win a race at some point. So we'll move on to race 3, the benchmark 90, 1200 metre race. A little cracker, actually. But I'm sticking with the favourite, Rose Court. Well, blew away what we thought was a good horse last time. It was ultra impressive. One with a bit in that store, and maybe barring the unknown, the lightly raced Bermudez, maybe he's just better than the rest of these. So I think come game time, I'll be more than happy to take the price Rose Quartz. And I probably don't have too much more to say. A lot of these are dead to me. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's Rose Quartz was outstanding last start. It had good form prior. It won its first 2 starts back from this preparation, and its third wasn't bad. It was stuck on the fence, and when it got and it couldn't get a run, and when it got out, it looked a little bit unlucky. But it proved that last start it had plenty in hand. It pretty much took up the running, and when it was let down at the 200, went away from quite easily. This looks like it'll set up fairly similar in this. That'll come down the middle of the track, and Bermudez has got some potential, but it's going to have to give the other one some start, and that's going to be hard to do.
Excellent. The restricted Inglis Sprint. No, it's not. It's the Tricity Stakes race is race 4, the 1400 metres. Getting ahead of myself here. What have you made of this?
Yeah, another interesting race. I kind of I looked into all of these and did a bit of a went through them and tried to find what I thought could win, and I came back to the favourites, Soleil Miss. It's got an outstanding first up preparation. Goes good at this distance. 2 out of 2. Its only start here did fail, but it only finished 4th, and that was in soft going, which it may not have handled as much, and was in a reasonably decent race, carrying a big weight. This looks to set up quite nicely for it. First up tilt here. I think it's going to be super hard to beat, and I just couldn't really find, when I looked through the form, something to beat it. Again, it looked like to have a bit of a long tail here, and a horse that's got potential, flies first up. This looks like a good task for it.
Yeah, I end up coming back to it as well. It for everything you've just said. Also, if you want a little extra tick on that, trucked around in a jump out to warm up for this and beat Shalo, who we know is, borderline Group 1 there. So I've got it on top as well. Think it's a good horse. Had a couple looks at more profits as a danger, just for giving the first up run on the bias track there. Maybe would have wanted to see more, and it's now been a little bit like that for a few runs now. But down to Melbourne may run well, and just getting away from the wet, and Excelita can fill a hole as well. But Cerilio Miss on top. Race 5 is the Inglis Sprint, the restricted one I was just talking about, where I'm pretty happy to lead away here and put the favourite on top. I've just noticed it's been backed. This is a restricted race for Inglis horses. Overpass is coming through Group 1 form here. It beat home Forbidden Love, albeit with the bias in favour, who came out and franked that. Then it chased Lost and Running, who is a close enough to Group 1 horse, and stacked up quite well. I think Josh Parr's come down, it'll lead these up and give drawn outside of the outside part of the track. Will definitely give them something to chase. Happy to be with it. Would have much rather the 280, 270 at open as apparently. But happy to be with it here from maybe Shadow Devil, just because it's unbeaten. But Abel Willie's dead to me, and the rest of these are average horses. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think it's the same again. Looked through this in depth to try and find something that could beat Overpass, but looks to come back this preparation in fine order. A second to Lost and Running. Hate to think what price Lost and Running would start in this race. And yeah, beat Forbidden Love first up, and that was outstanding last start. It'll start favourite in a race in Sydney on Saturday, and backed it up with a very tidy second to Lost and Running. It looks one of the better bets on the day.
Yeah, he's my best. Spoilers. Race 6 starts the quaddie with the Group 2 Blamey Stakes over the mile. Zaki resumes with Jamie Carr booked. Beaver, what are you doing? Are you trusting this horse?
Let me just see. Zaki, look, hard not to. Yeah, I can't find a reason that it can't win. That's for sure. You know, it's been pretty consistent in recent times. The only time that it did fail was at a, you know, sort of a race at Caulfield that the pace was a bit muddly. It's certainly going to be really hard to beat over the 1600 here. I thought there wasn't a lot of chances in the race, to be brutally honest. I think Inspirational Girl was an outstanding run last start. Finished off nicely, probably about the best in that race, to be honest. And that was a slow speed, so I really do like the way it finished off. 3 out of 3 at the distance. Hasn't raced at Flemington before, but has an outstanding
I feel like Flemington will suit it.
record. Flemington will suit
Away
it,
from
but
Caulfield
again, most of its form has been at Ascot, and these are some serious horses that it's now coming up. At the first race, it ran 5th behind Behemoth, 2.5 lengths, and then Caulfield. So is it up to this level with Zaki? Weekend would tell. And Corner Pocket, it was outstanding. First up, it's got good form, but again, hasn't raced the likes of Zaki before. So look, you're pinning a lot of faith. You know, Corner Pocket won well last up, but Morvada ran second. It's no Zaki. So as much as I'd like to find something to beat Zaki, I can't really here.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I wanted to. I didn't think the trials were that good for Zaki either. But for all the reasons you've said, I'm not quite sure where to go, apart from I think I've underrated Corner Pocket all the way through a little bit, and I think it can definitely fill a place. Do I want to necessarily back it to beat Zaki? Probably not. But I think I'm listing it as a danger, whatever that means, in a non-answer way. And King Magnus, one more tune up into the All-Star Mile, maybe $5 a place could be an interesting bet there as well. But yeah, just the same sort of reservations I had with Crystal Pegasus. I don't really want to charge into even money, and there's every chance it'll win by 5 lengths, and I'll look dumb again. But that's fine. Won't be the first time. The Group 1 Australian Guineas over the mile for the 3-year-olds is up next. Forgot You stays here. Doesn't come up to Sydney, which had me a little bit interested, and takes on Hitotsu Profondo first up, and the unbeaten Pinstripe Beaver. Good little race here. What have you done?
Yeah, cracking race here. Plenty of depth to this. Pescaro was good last start, but just got run over at the end. It'll be better for that experience as well. So you couldn't rule it out, but the extra 200 probably does look at this company a little bit tougher. I tipped Forgot You last start, and I'm going to stick with it until it gives me a reason not to. I thought last run was outstanding. It was hitting the line better than any other horse. It got a little bit out of its ground. The extra 200 meters suits. Certainly been set a task for one of it. This has been one of its tasks, so it's going to be hard to beat. Yeah, the 2 resumers, Profondo and Hitosu. Look, they're outstanding horses, and they'll run well. But it's really hard to draw a line on them first up over 1600 in this quality of race. But they'll both run well, hence the price. But I'm going to stick with Forgot You in front of those 2.
Same. Hard to miss first up. Flemington should suit, and I think Miles its perfect trip. I think it's just a bet in this race around what was $10 around the price it is now. I think you still might get close to that in the day. I'll be very, very interested to see which way the money goes. I feel like it'll go for Profondo if it's going to come for either of them. Trials were good. Never been kissed form isn't exactly form, is it? So that's the concern.
No.
It's a concern behind it, but I still think it's a nice horse. So leave him with Forgot You with the flashing light run and out to a mile. I'm not going to waffle about the rest of these. That'll be my bet in this race. The Bob Hoisted over the 1,000 is race number 8, where, my God, what do you do with this race? This is a field full of horses that just don't want to win.
Hard to catch.
You know what? I'll have something on It's Me, because I didn't mind the resumption. Fitness gave out. Very interested that it's kind of staying at 1,000, going down the straight, and might be a good horse. And I'm pretty sure most of these are no longer good horses. And then there's your bits and pieces. Brooklyn Hustle could win by 2 lengths and wouldn't surprise me. Do you want to back it? No.
See, Brooklyn Hustle, I'd put a line through. It's had 4 starts this track and never run a place.
Yeah, and the straight probably doesn't suit.
So I'm not sure the straight suits.
Anther is an ant. The other one I'd probably back would be Sort of Mercy. At least it has some okay stuff here,
Well,
and chased a decent. And I've starting to get a bigger opinion of Marine One. So,
good horse.
I feel like at least it's going to put in here. So, if I have to, well, I will be having a bet because I can't help myself. It'd be It's Me and Sort of Mercy. Beaver, what have you made of this?
Yeah, I've gone sort of similar lines to you. I've actually settled on Maliva. And the reason I have has a good win record. It's won 6 out of 13 and it's won 3 out of 3 at this distance. So that is all a good pointer for me. Was down the straight last time and ran really well. It was only less than a length and a half off Hal Vorsten and It's Our Time. And then prior to that, one down the straight, beat Parsifal, who goes all right as well, back in December. So freshened up here. So hasn't run for a couple of months, and its first up form, it's had 4 starts, 3 wins in a second. So it runs well fresh, handles the distance, and has won down the straight before. So that's all a good pointer for me. Got Preble aboard, and it's drawn 1. Hopefully that's not too bad a spot by this time of the day. So Maliva for me, and I thought the dangers were It's Me. I thought it was well worth a play. And I also thought, as you said, Sort of Mercy. It's actually goes well at the track and distance as well. And its first up run was pretty handy against Marine One and Oxley Road, as you pointed out. And its second up form, it's won 3 out of 5 second up. So it goes well second up as well. So I think there's a couple of ticks for it as well.
Great. And we finish today with the benchmark 84 over the mile. How are you taking us home?
Yeah, look, only 2 chances in this. Yonce and Gentleman Roy, they look to be the 2 that have it between them. Just at the price, I've gone for Gentleman Roy at the $5. Just slightly ahead of Yonce. I think Gentleman's Roy win last start was outstanding. Showed that it's packed with potential. It'll jump on pace and give them something to catch. And it, geez, we thought Tuvalu was a good horse, and it beat it like with its head on its chest last start by 4 lengths and had plenty in hand. That wasn't extended, so I think at $5 it's a nice play.
Yeah, I'm flipping him. I think Yonce made a believer out of me last start just because I thought it was probably its best win, and Flemington looks like it suits. Trickier Silent Gate 2, but does look explosive, and don't generally get hard luck stories at Flemington. From Gentleman Roy, who you've covered off, so they're the only 2 you need to worry about for your quaddie, I'm guessing. But do you want to do that now? Actually, your Ranwick Flemington quaddie. Oh, am I going?
Yeah, I'll do my quaddie now. So in the first leg, I've gone numbers 1, Zaki, number 6, Corner Pocket, and number 10, Inspirational Girl.
Mm-hmm.
In the second leg, I've gone number 1, Hitotsu, number 3, Provondo, number 4, Forgot You, and number 9, Pinstriped. In the next leg, I've gone, let me just check here. I've gone numbers 7, Maliva, number 9, Sort of Mercy, number 11, All Banter, and number 12, It's Me.
Yep.
And coming home in the last leg, I've gone number 1, Gentleman Roy, and number 10, Yonts.
Very good. For progroupraicing.com.au, check them out for their free tips, extensive guides, sign up to their mailing list for plenty of news in your inbox every Friday night. Your best and value, Beaver.
Yeah, my best is race 5, number 1, Overpass. And my value bet comes up in race 7, number 4, Forgot You.
I'm going to make my best Overpass as well. I think it's fantastically placed in that race, and I'll make my value a good idea and give you a side at the 20s on the day. We head to Ranwick, where, as I said, it's wet. It's heavy 10. The rail is in the 6 metre mark, I believe, to 1,000. 3 metres the remainder. Yeah, it's wet. It's going to be wet Ranwick. Perhaps hard to make ground, but it played okay last week. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll hope that with a bit of luck we get to race. We kick off with thankfully no highway on the card this week, but we've got a midway to start us off over the mile, benchmark 72, where I'll start us off with Capistel for Anthony Cummings. Couple of nice runs this prep, right down to weights, claiming under the minimum, which helps on the sticky track for those that like to follow that. I think it's going pretty well. I think Score's going to find a few more wins in Sydney at this sort of level. So happy to be with it from the stablemate who looks the obvious danger. So happy to start the day that way. What have you done here?
Yeah, I thought the same, but flipped them the other way. I thought the two stablemates had it between them, but I like the way Moradun won last start. It'll probably jump on pace, sting out of the ground. It's certainly appreciated, and they might have just found the trick to this one. So yeah, number 6, Moradun for me.
Race 2 is the Group 2 Riesling for the fillies. 2-year-old fillies, I should say. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this is a little bit tricky. The Raps on Greece, which is the second favourite, but both its trials have been on good tracks. So heavy tracks, a bit unknown. But Russian Conquest, geez, that was an amazing run in the Magic Millions. It all but went past Coolangatta, who we know how good that is. And the one thing we do know is it does handle some sting out of the ground, given it won its very first start at Newcastle on soft going. So I've got Russian Conquest on top, just because we know it's a good horse and it has won in a bit of a soft going.
Yeah, I've gone the same way. All its runs have been impressive. You've got to, at this stage, trust the Coolangatta form, and a bit of luck. It really gives Coolangatta a real shake, and even more of a shake, I should say, in that Magic Millions race. Happy to tip it on top, and you've covered off Greece there. Trialled well enough on a dry track, but not quite sure what that means if they'll even run it. $1.5 million filly on a heavy track. So Russian Conquest for me. The Todman is a Group 2 for the boys. 2-year-olds, where I am sticking with Sajardin. Nice enough resumption in the Millennium. The trainer seems to think that wet's not a problem, and I think it sets up well here to take care of these. This is a bit of a thinner field. The two I'd be looking at away from it would be, we talked about it a little bit last week, Custodian, who just sort of lobs here for the Friedman stable and offered a couple of good trials, and yeah, it's just here and interests me. And I had 2 looks at Saboko, who at 120s, I'll have $5 on, which I probably could just spend at the bar, but that's fine. Sajardin will be my main result on the race, Beaver.
Yeah, I found it pretty hard, so I went for the value in Custodian. It's the $1 million yearling, led in its trial and fought on quite well. So no reason it probably won't go forward. It's got Nash on board here. Hard to beat with the sting out the ground. And, Psychiatrist was also pretty good first up. So favourite as well. But yeah, I've gone for Custodian. I've just gone for a bit of value here.
Race 4 is a 2,000 metre Randwick City Cup. What have you done here?
Yeah, another interesting race over the 2,000 here. Most of these horses pretty much raced each other last start. I tipped no compromise, and I'm going to stick again here I think it meets Mighty Beale about 3 kilos better at the weights here for only a narrow loss. Flew home. 2000 will suit. Coming down the middle of the track, lighter weight here in the heavier going, certainly handles the sting out of the track. So had 17 starts on the soft and been in the money 13 of those and 3 out of 4 in the heavy. I think it can be super hard to beat. The extra 100 metres and the Ranwick track certainly will not hurt it. So no compromise for me. What about you?
I'm sticking with Mighty Bill. Smashed him last time. Chimed in, ran away. I know no compromise. It was back to the inside there and made some okay ground. But I'm just sticking with what I saw through the line there. And look, they're the only two. They've towed up everything else here, and there's not even an angle I can find away from them. So I may even save on one. But for me, Mighty Bill's on top. And I'm actually surprised at the price. I thought it might have been a bit shorter. So if we get $4 Mighty Bill on Saturday, I'll be very happy. Race 5 is 1,000-metre challenge stakes. We see once again Nature Strip and Eduardo clashing the heavy Beaver. And what are you doing here?
Oh, look, Nature Strip. It's no dramas for me here. It was pretty good. First up, should have won. Heavy track doesn't hurt it. Drawn well in 7, just wins.
Yeah, I've got it on top. It should have won last time. Swims as well, so the wet's not an issue. Gets J-Mac back on top as well, just in case you needed it. And can probably just tag Eduardo and go past when he needs to. The only time he's really been vulnerable is fresh in his campaign. He's had the run coming back to the wet track. So, and Eduardo wasn't nowhere near that finish down at Flemington as well. So Nash will be at his best, but I've got Nature Strip on top. The Fireball Stakes 1,100 metre listed race is race 6 for the 3-year-olds. Good race. Good race, sorry. It's just thinking what to say there. What have you done here?
Yeah, good race. I've landed on Dragonstone.
Yeah.
It's going great at the moment. Doesn't seem to run a bad race. It's drawn out in the middle of the track. I think that's where they'll be coming by this time of the day. Beaten the older horses of recent times. Beat De Grawen, who was outstanding last start. Prior to that, sting out of the track certainly is certainly a tick. Look, I think it's going to be hard to beat, and I'm certainly happy to make it my bet around the $10 mark. Got a keen watch on Remark resuming here. I think it's got some ability. First up, be keen to see how it goes, but no exposed form in the wet. So they're the two that I like.
Yeah, 2 for me as well, which would be, you've covered Dragonstone. Trials is fantastic. Comes here, might be drawn near right part of the track at this stage of the afternoon. And Zarastro, I think, might be a good horse. Both trials back here were good. J-Mac engaged, and both are double figures or close enough, and I'm happy to back both of them. And the third one will be Remark, who is interesting, but may turn up in that other race, given there's no jockey book, but we'll wait and see. Unless they're expecting a scratching here, they might be ready to pull one of the others out. But yeah, Dragonstown's a Rusty Remark, all very interested in. Isn't it funny how we've just turned on profit here? Not that we ever really had an opinion of it, but it's just making up the numbers again here. Race 7 starts the quarter, the 1,300 metre Group 1 Canterbury Stakes, where I'm believing what I saw last week. Forbidden Love was fantastic, rolled into it, trucked away, and is on the 7-day backup. And a lot of these are not quite as good. So it's on top from Special Reward, who's going all right here. And just Glenn, she'll be 20s on the day and give you he will be 20s on the day and give you a bit of a shake at odds. So Forbidden Love, pretty easy to find for me, Beaver.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super hard to beat. It'll be on pace. And that's going to make it super hard to beat. There is two that I do have a watch on in this race. Private Eyes resuming, and
Wet tracker.
it can handle the heavy going. It's had 2 runs on the heavy for 2 wins. So I certainly think you got to treat it with care, and probably have a saver on it. And the other one I thought had really good odds was Dice Roll. Really surprised to see it around the $25 mark. And it's interesting they brought it to Sydney. I know its last couple of starts were not great at Flemington before they put it out for a spell, but geez, it had run some good races before that in pretty decent company, and certainly can handle the sting out of the track. So I'd be keen to see how Dice Roll runs first up, and would be keeping it safe.
Group 1, Randwick Guineas over the mile is race 8. Animo $1.75 off the last start win. Does this feel a bit icky to you here as well, or?
Nowhere near as icky as potentially backing one of the best 3 horses in the land for $1.75 compared to Crystal Pegasus. So no, it doesn't feel too icky for me. I just think 1600 meters certainly suits again. Gate 9, can't see that as being a problem. And track condition seems to handle the sting out of the ground. I just don't see too many dangers in this race. Trying to look for something that can beat it doesn't appear to be too much to me.
Yeah, it's fine. It's on top for me. I don't feel as bullish as I might have a couple of starts back, but did win nice and well enough last start. I think has all of these covered, so you're going to be looking at someone different to beat it, which I might throw in a quaddie. But on top, I'll end up backing it probably. So let's move on. Race 9 is.
You probably get $2. You're probably going to
get
$2.
I was going to say that, but I don't know. If I get $2, I'll be backing it. Race 9, the mile Aspiration Quality is the second last on the card, where I've got Polly Gray on top, Wet Tracker, J-Mac, right draw, hopefully by this time of the day, and has some better form than a lot of these. I feel like this is probably a bit of a target for it, to be honest. And I couldn't find a lot else. I know La Gay Soleil was okay. It was a nice win last time. I just don't know if it's a wet tracker. And Arctic Thunder is a wet tracker and is a little line. It did win on a wet, didn't it?
It's won 3 out of 4. It's won 3 out of 4 on the soft and 2 out of 4 on the heavy. So
maybe I'm thinking of that other horse. I keep getting confused with the other O'Shea horse. I don't know. I'm going with Polly Gray from Arctic Thunder. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've gone for Polly Gray as well. I was a bit unsure with Le Gay Ciel's price, given that it did win well first up, but that might, I'm not sure, it could suffer. It's 4 of its 5 wins, 4 of its 6 wins have come out of first up. So it's certainly hard to beat first up, and does run well.
The last prep or 2 preps back, it won like a superstar first up, and then we were declaring it and never won. I don't think it won another race.
Yeah, five times it's been first up and won 4 of them, and third the other. So definitely a good first up horse. So I'm willing to probably take it on a little bit, given that and given the price. So I have gone Polly Gray, given the track, and as you said, drawn beautifully for this. And probably the main danger might be the Cummings Stray. Could run okay as well. Won well first up. And had run in some good races previous to this against the likes of Head of State, Profondo, back last preparation. So it certainly can be hard to beat in this.
Unlike Anthony Cummings to throw horses into Group 1 races to start its career. Race 10 is the Winona Girl, Group 3 over the 1200 metres, where I'm going to finish the day with Geist. I like Tim Clark going on here. I think it will. He will suit it. It's one in the heavy, and trailed okay heading into this. Down in the weights. Happy to have it on top, or at least spec it at about $14. Never Talk it's been flapping around a bit. I think people are just assuming it's a wet tracker. So I thought the main danger was probably Bellucci Babe, J Mac, and Bjorn in the last. But happy to spec Geist and maybe even Joviality, to be honest. Kathy put me off a bit there, but might not matter. What are you thinking?
Yeah, interesting race to finish the day. I've gone for Marbusha. I think it can be hard to beat. I thought its first up at Caulfield was okay in the Probabile Flying Mascot race. Flying Mascot came out and franked that form as second. It only finished a length and a half behind Probabile that day, carrying 58. So, still carrying similar weight here, actually drops a kilo. And prior to that, had some good form in decent races in Sydney as well. Hasn't started on the heavy, but has ran well on soft going. Bit worried about the draw, gate 1, by this time of the day, but hopefully Tommy Berry can get him off the fence and it can present into the race. And I thought Joviality, you're right, was certainly a chance in an open affair, but Marbush on top for me.
Beautiful. The Randwick Quaddie on Randwick Guineas Day will kick off with 5 special reward, 9 Forbidden Love, 10 Lighthouse. I'll throw 3 Private Eye in because that'll be a target there. Second leg, 1 Animo, 10 War Eternal. Throw Converging at your leisure. I'm undecided there. Race 9, 1 Polygrey, 3 Arctic Thunder, 5 Fill of Fun, and 7 La Gay Soleil. And we'll come home with 2 Mabusha, 4 Bellucci Babe, 10 Never Talk, 11 Geist, and 12 Joviality. Your best in value at Flemington for progroupraicing.com.au, Beaver.
Yeah, look, hard to go past the best bet of the day being race 5, number 1, Nature Strip. No prize for that, but should be winning. And my value bet of the day comes up in race 6, number 6, Dragonstone.
I am going to make my best Forbidden Love. I think it's back. And my value, the 2 in that race, Dragonstone and Zarastro, officially, I'll make mine Zarastro just to be different to you. Anything up north? We racing at Doomben?
We are racing at Doomben, I believe. And I did have a few up there just for the folk to have a play on. So hopefully the track is half decent enough. Race 3, number 2, She's Got the Boom. Will be winning. Won't be no juicy odds, but that'll get you a little bit of money to have a play later in the day where you can have race 6, number 1, Profit, around the $5 mark. Race 7, number 16, Rich Lister, around the $4 mark. And then we will finish with race 8, number 1, Prince of Boom, around the $5 mark. So a little bit of value there up at Doomben on the weekend.
Very good. It's all about the boom up in Queensland. Good punting this weekend, Beaver. Best wishes to everyone doing it tough up north and along the east coast in the horrendous conditions we've seen the last week or so. Best wishes to all of you. Good luck, punters, and we'll talk to everyone very shortly.